2, 1.
Good morning. The opening business session of the 113th Annual California State Conference will come to order. Please rise and remain standing for the opening ritual. The color guard will advance the colors. The invocation will be offered by State Chaplain Christine McMahon. The Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America will be led by excuse me.
Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer. I invite you to pray in your faith and tradition as I pray in mine. May we pray together. Almighty God, our Creator, as we pause to ponder the words that surround our day, may we always use 40 kinds words that cheer, uplifting words that inspire, wise words that guide, affirming words that build, encouraging words that challenge, appropriate words that explain, prayerful words that comfort. May our words flow from a heart disciplined by thy will and tempered by thy word. Through Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen.
The Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America will be led by State Vice Regent Sharon Moss. Sharon. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Americans' Creed will be led by State Treasurer Christina Ramos. Christina?
Thank you, Madam State Regent.
I believe in the United States of America as a government of the people, by the people, for the people, whose just powers are derived from the consent of the governed, a democracy in a republic, a sovereign nation of many sovereign states, a perfect union, one and inseparable, established upon those principles of freedom, equality, justice, and humanity, for which American patriots sacrificed their lives and fortunes. I therefore believe it is my duty to my country to love it, to support its Constitution, to obey its laws, to respect its flag, and to defend it against all enemies.
The preamble to the Constitution will be led by State Librarian Debbie Foley King. Debbie? We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. The national anthem will be sung by the United States Army Band from Fort McHenry. You may be seated. Thank you to the Boy Scouts of America, Troop 535, for participating in our opening ceremony. These two scouts are brothers and come to us from Saratoga, California. We will be sending them a certificate of appreciation and an honorarium. Appreciation is extended to all who participated in the opening ritual. Welcome to the first business session of the 113th California State Conference. The theme of this conference is celebrating our service, and serve you did. Reviewing the CMR reports and listening to reports at chapter and district Zoom meetings told this officer that California daughters were not about to let a pandemic get the best of them. You continue to find ways to engage members, keep in touch, and serve your communities and our nation. Over the next 3 days, we will meet using this Microsoft Teams Live and Teams meeting platforms to bring you a full conference. Sharing ideas, celebrating accomplishments in service, remembering daughters no longer with us, presenting awards, welcoming new friends from across the nation, and sharing a giggle as we spend time with friends. These moments are the lifeblood of our state conference, and there's no reason we shouldn't continue. There is no doubt that California's daughters are resilient, and so off we step, daughters, into the virtual. This officer is honored to present our distinguished daughters. These women not only have served the society in positions of leadership, they continue to share their wisdom and skills, continuing to serve with us, mentoring and participating at all levels. How privileged we are to have two daughters who have held the highest office in our national society. Corresponding Secretary Emily Bowling will share greetings from Dorla Dean E. Kemper, Honorary President General.
Greetings to all California daughters gathered around Zoom for the 113th California State Conference, March 2021. We were together in person in March 2020 when the conference was held in San Ramon. Oh, how I missed seeing your smiling faces. However, I am very proud of your tenacity and accomplishments during this past year challenged by the COVID-19 pandemic. Keep up the good work. I was pleased and proud to nominate Susan Broderick for the office of State Regent. Her leadership qualities are outstanding, and you have responded by enthusiastically participating in thousands of hours of volunteer service in our community and our nation. Team leadership strengthens the purpose of an organization and motivates participation by team players. At the close of the 2020 conference, I had the distinct honor to conduct the formal installation of Susan and her officers. These officers have made California shine in spite of tough circumstances beyond their control. Let us not forget the daughters who have served as chairman and vice chairman, district directors, chapter officers, and the busy dedicated members. We need to thank them once more for their awesome service. I wish we were together in person so we could see each other smile and visit a while. I want you to know how grateful I am to have served as your state regent 1984 to 1986, and then your president general 1995 to 1998. Always remember the Kemper administration theme, our heritage is the key to our future. In today's world, our future seems less secure if our children are not taught the meaning of their heritage and freedom. The Daughters of the American Revolution have been promoting education, historic preservation, and patriotism for over 130 years. What a wonderful record of service by women. Know my loving spirit will be with you always. God bless your country, and God bless our service as members of NSDAR. Dorla Dean Eaton Kemper, Honorary President General.
Thank you, Emily, and thank you, Mrs. Kemper. Linda Gist Calvin, Honorary President General. Mrs. Calvin, would you please bring greetings?
Thank you, Susan, and thank you especially for all you and your officers have done to bring us together, if not in person, definitely in spirit. It's been 20 years ago since I served as state regent, but wanted to share with you that I embraced a star as my symbol with the motto, light tomorrow with today. And I truly feel you are doing just that. I commend you and all daughters who have worked so hard to bring us together and extend to you my very best wishes for a very successful conference. Thank you.
We are delighted to present two California daughters serving at the national level. Adele Lancaster, Vice President General, Class of 2023. Mrs. Lancaster, would you bring greetings?
Thank you, Madam State Regent. You are to be commended for the work you and your team have done to bring this first and hopefully last virtual state conference to California Daughters. We are excited to come together to share successes and celebrate the work of our society. We will see evidence of many ways California Daughters supported each other through difficult times this past year and enjoy simple fellowship in today's best way possible. I add my welcome to the visiting state regents. We are pleased that so many of you have had this opportunity to be with us, to witness how California Daughters with full hearts can, have, and will continue to rise and shine together in service to our society, our communities, and our country. Best wishes, Susan, as you travel through a most interesting and challenging wilderness with a successful conference, the final destination this week.
Thank you, Mrs. Lancaster. Carol D. Belcher, PRPR, Honorary Vice President General. Mrs. Belcher's greetings will be brought to you from Emily Bowling.
Greetings from Honorary President General for Life, Honorary State Regent Carol Belcher. It has been a difficult year for so many of us, and I wish I could tell you, as I usually do, how happy I am to be back in California seeing your smiling faces. Having said that, it is a pleasure to bring greetings to you virtually and to wish our state regent a successful state conference. I do look forward to seeing many of you at Southern Council in September. A special thank you to all the daughters who have worked to make this virtual state conference a reality.
Thank you, Mrs. Belcher. Our state society is blessed to have the active support of our honorary state regents. Mrs. Alexander's greetings will be read by State Corresponding Secretary Emily Bowling.
Madam State Regent, greetings. Thank you for all the work that you and others have put into planning and now executing this CSSDAR State Conference 2021. I know you could not have done so without the assistance of your state officers, state chairman, conference chairman, honoraries, and club presidents. All are to be congratulated. Welcome to our visiting state regents and other guests. I look forward to joining you and other attendees for many of the various meetings and activities, but I most look forward to hearing the reports of the various accomplishments of the work of each and every member. Nancy Alexander.
Thank you, Mrs. Alexander, for your greetings. Karen Gerard, Honorary State Regent, Past Corresponding Secretary General. Mrs. Gerard, would you please bring greetings?
Thank you, Madam State Regent, for the invitation to bring greetings. I'm looking forward to hearing about our accomplishments during this past year. 2020, the year that has been like no other. In spite of the challenges the pandemic put before us, leaders at the chapter, state, and national levels have continued to devise innovative ways to serve our communities. We've found we are able to achieve historic preservation, education, and patriotic goals while meeting virtually, or while socially distanced outside enjoying DAR friendships. Some are cleaning cemeteries, identifying graves, and holding community cleanup days. Outside work is a great pandemic fit, and being outside meets our state regent's goal to keep moving. California daughters shine with a heart. Can we do it? We can and we will. Have a great conference.
Thank you, Mrs. Gerard. Debbie Jameson, Honorary State Regent, has sent greetings. Emily Bowling, State Corresponding Secretary, will share greetings from Debbie.
Madam State Regent and daughters, I bet I've been like most of you, isolated, sad, have lost loved ones, bored, tired, and everything else we've all gone through during the pandemic. The other day, I flipped the page on a calendar we have in our kitchen that has quotes from famous people. That day's message was from comedian Steve Allen, and it said, "Without laughter, life on our planet would be intolerable." A few days later, I was looking at my cell phone and someone had posted funny signs that have cropped up during this last year. The site made the point about how resilient we are and that even though the days have been dark, we still have our sense of humor and still find ways to smile and laugh. Several of the signs were pretty funny, like a signboard outside a pub. Pretty wild how we used to eat birthday cake after someone had blown on it. Good times. Here's a good one, a sign attached to a cordoned off area. We are aware we have bees nesting at the end of platform 3. Please do not disturb them. Consider them as key workers and apply social distancing. A big digital sign on the freeway, wash hands or we will call your mother. And finally, my favorite, when this is all over, we are throwing the biggest St. Pat's Easter de Mayo Bash of July ever. I cannot wait to see you all at that epic party. Madam State Regent, Board of Directors, and California Daughters, congratulations to you for all you have accomplished during this difficult year. Fondly, Debbie Jameson, Honorary State Regent.
Thank you, Mrs. Jameson. Please welcome Carol Jackson, Honorary State Regent, past Treasurer General, as she brings greetings.
Thank you, Madam State Regent, for the opportunity to bring greetings to this first virtual state conference. I certainly wish we could be together face to face in support of the Broderick administration, but c'est la vie. As the saying goes in baseball, and how about them Dodgers? There's always next year. I am thinking positively that with vaccines and masks, it will be possible. Congratulations to all of you for the incredible accomplishments you have achieved during this unprecedented time of disruption in our daily lives. We have, with full hearts, sometimes light, sometimes heavy, supported others and each other as we have carried on the meaningful work of service to God, home, and country. Each and every day, we rise and shine for America. In all we do, we live out our California motto of DAR can and DAR will do. Madam State Regent, best wishes for a successful state conference and social distance hugs to all of you. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you, Mrs. Jackson. Please also welcome Beverly Moncrief, Honorary State Regent, as she shares greetings.
Madam State Regent and California Daughters, what a wonderful day it is to be with you all, sharing our state conference. This daughter can feel the excitement of our being together again, even if not in person. Right now, I ask you all to close your eyes for a few seconds and imagine that we're sharing a giant virtual hug. Picture one or two of your favorite daughters with your hand in theirs. Wasn't that heartwarming? It's been too long for all of us. Though this year has been a difficult one in many ways, it also has challenged us to be innovative in continuing our important mission. We share programs and meetings across the country and find creative ways to carry on our service. Many who couldn't otherwise travel to attend can now participate via the infamous Zoom or team meetings, and we appreciate even more how much we love to be together. We'll be building special memories of a different kind this week as we celebrate California's first ever virtual state conference. I commend the creativity and hard work of all of our state leadership team and what you have done to put this together for us. And I thank California Daughters and our many welcome guests for joining us. God bless you all.
To all of our honorary officers, all of whom serve as advisors to the state regent and the board, please accept our deepest gratitude for your support of this administration and for your continuing service to this state and national societies. Last evening, you were introduced to our 20 visiting state regents. This year brings a historic opportunity for each state regent to virtually attend each other's conferences. With the pandemic, few of us have had the opportunity to meet in person, but the spark to do this was lit during a Facebook conversation on how each of us was planning their conference. All will participate over the next few days as their schedules and commitments allow. We are excited to learn new tips and tricks for navigating all of the technology from each other, and we share the accomplishments of our members. We will share their greetings throughout conference. It is truly a pleasure to welcome each of these ladies and new friends. This officer would first like to present Paula Renkus, State Regent of Massachusetts. We met on the DAR schools tour and were able to share time in Massachusetts last summer. She has some interesting information to share with you. Paula, will you please bring greetings?
Hello, California Daughters. I am Paula Renkus. I am the State Regent of Massachusetts. I'm very happy to be bringing these greetings to you today. I just wish it was in person. I thought I'd bring you a little historical tidbit from Massachusetts. I happen to live in a town that is named Franklin that started being settled in the 1660s. It wasn't incorporated until 1778 though. And at the time, the town fathers chose Franklin after patriot Ben Franklin in the hopes that he'd feel honored and would give them some money so they could buy a bell for the church steeple. Well, Ben, as you know, was a little tight when it came to his coins, and he decided he would do something else. He gave a gift of a collection of books of various subjects, and he instructed the town fathers to distribute them amongst the townspeople, let them read, exchange, ideas and discuss, and keep them in circulation. Well, we still have that collection of books housed in our public library, and they're in a beautiful, climate-controlled glass container, and they've been preserved a few times over the years. Well, as a result of that, we ended up having to be the first public library in the United States, and we're very proud of that. And I just thought I'd give you that little tidbit. about Massachusetts history that you wouldn't hear normally. So I'm wishing you all a great conference. I know you'll have a great time and have fun. Susan's a great gal, and guess what? As you know, she's from Massachusetts too.
Thank you, Paula, for those wonderful greetings. Tammy Clemens, the State Regent of Alabama, is known to quite a few California daughters. Tammy will be attending the Florida State Conference in person this week, but wanted to bring greetings from the Patriot Vision Studios at KDS, which California daughters so generously supported. Tammy, your greetings?
California Daughters, I am thrilled to bring greetings on behalf of over 4,400 Alabama daughters in 71 chapters across the state, live from KDS Patriot Vision Studio in Grant, Alabama. Of course, I would have loved to have provided greetings in person last year at your 112th California State Conference, but I am so delighted we all have embraced the virtual platforms. Your incredible state regent is so gracious and generous and has allowed so many state regents to be with you today. Thank you, Susan. This 1981 KDS graduate has been honored to serve as the 40th Alabama State Regent, the very state society that founded the school in 1924 and ensured I would have an education and I would succeed in life. It has truly been surreal to give back and provide funding from the State Regents Project to establish a historic properties endowment to provide funds for the upkeep of the beautiful historic buildings on the KDS DAR school campus for future generations. Ladies, thank you for your support of KDS and providing funding for the Patriot Vision Studio. Wow, over 22,000 in 1 year. Thank you. Also, my son Chris received the Hollywood Chapter Scholarship as the 2007 Continental Congress representative, and a Dredla Sanderson Scholarship helped him graduate from Auburn University. California daughters, you do make a difference in the lives of the children at KDS. In closing, I would love to give a shout out to the Santa Margarita chapter where I'm an associate member. Thank you, ladies, for all you do to persevere and carry on the important work of our beloved today's DAR.
Thank you, Tammy. It is a pleasure to welcome Tennessee State Regent Cecile Wimberly. Those on the DAR schools tour last year will remember the warm hospitality of Tennessee daughters in Nashville. Cecile, will you bring greetings to us?
Greetings from the Tennessee Society Daughters of the American Revolution. I'm Cecile Wimberly, and I'm the state's 51st Regent. I'm so excited to be with you today because I want to learn more about what the California Daughters are doing in their chapters and in their communities. It's really exciting that we're able to use technology to reach out to areas of the country we might not normally get to visit. I wanted to share just a little bit about what our state is doing as well. We picked a theme of a season of service to God, home, and country during this administration, drawing inspiration from our theme verse of Ecclesiastes 3:1. For everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. We really couldn't have picked a better theme verse for a COVID-19 administration, could we? With that theme verse, and with our theme, we've asked chapters to go into their communities and to really embrace community service projects. We've included a list for our chapters to choose from, but I wanted to share just a couple with you. The first is little libraries, and you probably have those in California. But we're asking our chapters to build new ones and to sponsor existing ones in their community. And it certainly has been vital during COVID, as many of our libraries had to close to the public for several months last summer. We're also asking our chapters to reach out to schools and to sponsor donations of feminine care items to schools through school counselors and school nurses. This has been a tremendous time of need for many women and children, and this allows young girls to continue to go to school instead of missing several days each month. Finally, we're asking our chapters to plant dogwoods and yellow roses for conservation efforts. There's a lot going on in Tennessee, and I'm excited to hear what California is doing as well. Thank you so much for having me with you.
Thank you, Cecile. It is also a pleasure to welcome Iowa State Regent Marla Suter this morning. Although visiting virtually, Marla is the third Iowa State Regent to visit us. Marla, would you please bring greetings?
Madam State Regent, thank you for inviting me to bring greetings on behalf of nearly 1,900 Iowa daughters in 44 chapters from across our state. It's been amazing to watch daughters across this nation rise and shine in service to America during this pandemic. Through virtual meetings, social media platforms, and emerging technology, we are all learning new ways to stay in touch and to continue to serve others with all our hearts. It goes without saying that I would have much preferred to be with you in person today, but as that is just not possible, I am so very grateful for this opportunity to share this virtual experience. I am so looking forward to hearing and seeing what California daughters have been doing during this pandemic to stay engaged, to care for one another, and to further the DAR mission of service to promote historic preservation, education, and patriotism. So from Iowa daughters who are serving others with all their hearts, to California daughters who with full hearts can and will rise and shine in service to God, home, and country, we wish you all the best as you gather together this weekend to celebrate your accomplishments over the last year. Be safe, be well, and have a truly fantastic state conference. And just know that Iowa daughters are sending their love. Enjoy being with each other.
Thank you, Marla. It's wonderful to have you all here with us this morning. We'll hear from some of our other visiting state regents as we begin our afternoon and evening sessions. The state officers will be presented as they give their reports. This officer is forever grateful for their inspiration, their enthusiasm, and their can-do spirits. California daughters serve at many levels by national appointment, in Veterans Affairs Voluntary Service, as district directors and state committee chairs, vice and co-chairs. In this large virtual format, it's not possible to have them stand as groups to be recognized. Many will be featured as they report. At this time, this officer would like to extend her profound gratitude and admiration for their service, for their contributions to the work of our national and state societies, especially this year. At this time, the chair recognizes State Chaplain Christine McMahon, who will present the 50-year plus members.
Congratulations to California's 50-plus year members. Thank you for your many years of membership and service. We celebrate that service. And this year, due to our virtual circumstances, we can and we will celebrate all of you. Please enjoy this special presentation narrated by your California State Society Board of Directors. Arrowhead Valley Chapter, Cassandra Ward, 70 years of service.
Acalanes Chapter, Patricia Gabriel Peterson, 50 years of service. Captain John Oldham Chapter, Constance Yates, 69 years of service. Barbara Langdon, 57 years of service. Nancy Clemens, 53 years of service. Colonel William Cabell Chapter, Shirley Blinn, 71 years of service. Genevieve Korsiak, 70 years of service. Evelyn Brown, 61 years of service. Nancy Myers, 59 years of service. And Marilyn Suezo, 54 years of service.
Deanza Chapter, Lois Lodi Martin, 54 years of service. Joanne Lagasse, 50 years of service. El Dorado Chapter, Anise Mildred Albert Nolan, 64 years of service. Suzanne Paula Brick Davis, 55 years of service. El Palo Alto Chapter, Beverly Zimmerman, 60 years of service. Elizabeth Moore, 53 years of service.
El Redondo Chapter, Sheila Brewster, 65 years of service. Frances Booth, 62 years of service. And Jean Martin, 50 years of service. Fresno Yosemite Chapter, Linda Dubree, 80 years of service. Jesse Krause Bain, 58 years of service. Gaspar de Portola Chapter, Margaret McKee, 60 years of service. Nancy Sicott, 58 years of service. And Amret Butler, 51 years of service.
General John A. Sutter Chapter, Genevieve Glock Sinclair, 60 years of service. Gail Ann Nichols Johnson, 50 years of service. Gold Trail Chapter, Susan Witherell Julian, 62 years of service. Gretchen Wilson Thomas, 61 years of service. Mary Beth Haynes Watson, 61 years of service. Dorla Dean Kemper, 50 years of service. Golden Nugget Chapter, Marlene Mays Swanson, 50 years of service.
John Greenleaf Whittier Chapter, Dolores Outram, 63 years of service. Peggy Manser, 62 years of service. Elizabeth Foster, 57 years of service. Dorothea Stewart, 53 years of service. And Eileen Longacre, 52 years of service.
Kauai, Linda Calvin, 52 years of service. Betty Lou Pendleton, 51 years of service. La Cuesta, Dania D. Rector, 67 years of service. Ann Edgecombe, 52 years of service. La Jolla, Anne Wilcox Wintick, 67 years of service. Donna P. Derrick, 65 years of service. Elizabeth Black Allcroft, 53 years of service. Sarah Ann L. Fowler McWilliams, 52 years of service. Diva McClendon Richards, 51 years of service. Pamela Adette Theobald, 51 years of service.
Letitia Cox Shelby Chapter, Susan Roby Taylor Pitney, 58 years of service. M. Davina Nason Fowler Cray, 53 years of service. Joyce Marlene Holbert Carter, 52 years of service. Los Altos Chapter, Mildred McKee Fitzgerald, 50 years of service. Los Cerritos Chapter, Connie Lou Berg, 71 years of service.
Merced River, Judith Ann Huffman, 50 years of service. Mission Canyon, Mary Blackwood Collier, 57 years of service. Sarah Ann Collier Heatwool, 53 years of service. Patience Wright, Frances Cunningham McNary, 50 years of service.
Piedmont Chapter, Ann Patton, 62 years of service. Carol James, 52 years of service. Susan Hill, 51 years of service. Presidio Chapter, Gladine Kenderdine Mitchell, 56 years of service. Rancho San Jose de Buenos Aires, Ann Alexander Sykes Peel, 50 years of service.
Rincon del Diablo, Carol Harris, 55 years of service. San Clemente Island, Patricia Borst, 55 years of service. Tacey Lee, 53 years of service. Carol Santel, 51 years of service. Santa Clara, Paula Mortensen, 50 years of service. Janice Pinner, 50 years of service.
Santa Margarita, Barbara Lang Betts, 66 years of service. Joyce Ann Allswood, 61 years of service. Elizabeth Joy Jory, 50 years of service. Santa Monica, Jennifer Ellen Johnson Bishop, 59 years of service. Maida Ferline Birch Hastings, 55 years of service. Sierra Amador, Thelma Teddy Charlton West, 73 years of service.
Congratulations, ladies, and thank you for your service to DAR.
Thank you, Christine. And thank you for all your many years of service and membership, ladies. We celebrate that service. We'd like to welcome all first-time state conference attendees. We hope that you'll be inspired to return when we're back in person. The first order of business will be the report of the Credentials Committee, given by Robin Hurwitz, State Credentials Chair. You can record this report on page 38 in your program book.
Madam State Regent, the report of the 113th State Conference Credentials. Honorary Presidents General from California, 2. Vice President General from California, 1. Honorary Vice President General from California, 1. Honorary State Regents, 5. State Officers, 10. District Directors, 15. Chapter Regents, 102. Delegates, 406. Total voting registration, 542. Quorum, 272. Visiting state regents, 20. Alternates, 56. Other members, 248. Registered guests, 24. Total non-voting registration, 348. Total conference registration, 890. By direction of the Credentials Committee, I move the adoption of the Credentials Report.
The Credentials Report.
You're not live yet.
The Credentials Report. Honorary Presidents General from California, 2. Honorary Vice Presidents General, 1. Vice Presidents General, 1. Honorary State Regents, 5. State Officers, 10. District Directors, 15. Chapter Regents, 102. Delegates, 406. Total voting registration, 542. Quorum, 272. Visiting state regents, 20. Alternates, 56. Other members, 248. Registered guests, 24. Total non-voters, 348. Total conference registration, 890. The question is on the adoption of the report of the Credentials Committee. If there is no objection, the report of the Credentials Committee is adopted. According to state bylaws, Article 9, Section 7A, a majority of the voting members registered at the first meeting opened for business of the annual state conference shall constitute a quorum for the following meetings of the state conference. The total voting registration is 542, which makes the quorum 272. There are more than 542 voters registered for the conference, which constitutes a quorum. The business of the 113th Annual State Conference may proceed. The next business in order will be the report of the Standing Rules Committee. Please turn in your virtual program to pages 33 to 35. The chair recognizes Sharon Moss and Katrina Gonzalez.
Thank you, Madam State Regent. The standing rules are presented in the program on pages 33 to 35.
These standing rules were approved by the California State Board of Directors on February 5th, 2021.
By direction of the General Conference Committee, I move the conference standing rules as presented in the program book be adopted.
The question is on the adoption of the standing rules as presented in the program book. If there is no objection, the standing rules are adopted. The next business in order will be the conference program report given by State Conference Chair Kathy Russo.
Thank you, Madam State Regent. By the direction of the Conference Committee, I move the adoption of the program as the order of business for the 113th Annual State Conference with any changes or corrections necessary.
The question is on the adoption of the program as the order of business for the 113th Annual Conference with any changes or corrections necessary. If there is no objection, the program will be the order of business for this conference. In accordance with the standing rule number 18 as adopted this morning, the chair appoints the following committee to approve the minutes of this state conference. State Librarian Debbie Foley King, State Organizing Secretary Dawn Bird Berezovoy, and State Corresponding Secretary Emily Bowling. Before we begin the reports of the state officers, let's take a 15-minute recess. Be prepared to return at 10:15. Excuse me. Before we take our break, the next business in order will be the report of the board, read by State Recording Secretary Wendy Malone. A printed copy will be available this morning upon request. Wendy?
Thank you, Madam State Regent. The 2020-2021 CSS DAR Board of Directors met 8 times. The Broderick administration held meetings on March 15, 2020, June 6, 2020, June 16, 2020, August 4, 2020, September 10, 2020, November 30, 2020, December 11, 2020, and 2nd of March, 2021. The following motions were made, seconded, and adopted. The CSS DAR Board of Directors ratified the appointment by the State Regent of Katrina Gonzalez as State Parliamentarian. Approved the purchase of 400 large pins and 250 small pins and 175 stud and 175 dangle earrings at a cost not to exceed $17,500 from Pamela Wright Collections, LLC, Houston, Texas. Funds to be taken from Operations Unrestricted 50011. Approved the sale price of the sale of the State Regent's Project large pin at $100 each, and the small pin at $50 each, and the earrings as $35 each pair. Approved the State Registrar to destroy all credential forms and supporting documentation from the 2020 CSS DAR State Conference, ratified in June 2020. Approved the distribution of the remaining $1,539.21 in the Wildfire Fund to be donated to the Golden Nugget chapter. Approved $6,024.88, the remaining balance from the California DAR Schools bus tour to Friends of DAR Schools. Approved that the additional funds received for the server project at Tomasi DAR School be donated for additional IT support at Tomasi DAR School. Approved reimbursement to California State Outstanding Junior 2020 Michelle Wickham for the purchase of OJ Club Life membership and OJ Club official pin in recognition of circumstances surrounding 2020 Continental Congress. Ratified motion number 4 as adopted on March 29, 2020 via electronic vote. Approved the purchase of 35 name badges from Deco Awards of Pasadena, California at a cost not to exceed $400, including tax, shipping, and handling. This includes 1 badge for each state board member and district director, plus additional badges. Each of the 9 board members requesting an additional badge will reimburse CSS DAR in the amount of $10 for a pin back. This will cover the cost of the badge plus tax, shipping, and handling. Funds to be taken from and reimbursement to Operations Unrestricted 50011 via electronic vote. Approve the purchase price of printed yearbooks to be $16, which includes the yearbook plus shipping and tax. Approved continued support of the 4-year scholarship offered to Taryn Murphy for studies in American history and political science at Hillsdale College, as long as she maintains good academic standing. Payment of $1,000 to Hillsdale College from account 50782, unused interest, AP/PS scholarship via electronic vote. Approved the purchase of 6 HP 15-inch laptops, 6 HDMI cables, a 6-seat subscription to Microsoft Office, a 6-seat subscription to Malwarebytes, and 6 bags with cost not to exceed $5,000, and funds coming from the equipment line item. Approved the state regents projects for 2020-2022 term, Women, Alzheimer's Movement, and Tomasi DAR School Bridge Scholarship Fund. Approved the FY 2021-2022 budget as presented. Approved the expenditure not to exceed $6,000 for magazine advertising. Approved the reimbursement to the San Antonio chapter for half of the cost to remove graffiti from the Madonna of the Trail statue at a cost not to exceed $1,000. Funds to come from special projects undesignated Fund 50611. Approved holiday bonuses for headquarters staff Linda Bartoff, $500 to be paid from Operations Payroll and Bonuses Fund 50021. And Zachary Hensley, $250, and Katie Hensley, $250. Funds to come from Payroll and Bonuses Fund 50818. Approve the standing rules for the 113th State Conference as corrected via electronic vote. Approve the revised standing rules for District 8. Be approved with a revision to Item 5 to specify that district representatives responsible for contest judging shall not hold their respective chair in their chapter. Approve the revised standing rules for District 9. Approved proposed amendment number 1 to Article 11, districts, inserting Section 4 after Section 3 and renumbering the following sections, and proposed amendment number 2 to Article 11, districts, Section 7, striking for a term of office of 2 years or until their successors are elected. These amendments were approved using the authority granted to the CSS DAR Board of Directors under Bylaws Article 12, Section 3, subsection H. Approved the award of the California American History Political Science Scholarship to Charlotte Moody in the amount of $1,000. Funds to be paid from unused interest AHPS Scholar. Approved the award of the California DAR Member Scholarship to Elizabeth Boyd in the amount of $1,000. Funds to be paid from unused interest DAR Member Scholarship. Approved the award of the California DAR Member Scholarship to Victoria Boyd in the amount of $1,000. Funds to be paid from unused interest DAR Member Scholarship. Madam State Regent, by direction of the Board, I move the adoption of the report of the Board of Directors.
The question is on the adoption of the report of the Board of Directors. If there is no objection, the report of the Board of Directors is adopted. Thank you, Wendy.
You're welcome.
As noted in the report of the Board of Directors, the CSSDAR Board of Directors took action to adopt 2 amendments to the CSSDAR bylaws recommended by the Bylaws Committee under duties and powers granted to the Board of Directors by CSSDAR bylaws, Article 12, Section 3, subsection H. The 2 amendments are as follows. Amend Article 11. Districts by inserting new Section 4 after Section 3 and renumbering the following sections. Section 4, Term of Office. The term of office shall be for 2 years or until their successors are elected. The term of office shall begin no earlier than at the close of the Continental Congress at which the state regent and state vice regent are confirmed. An officer having served more than 1/2 a term in office shall be deemed to have served a full term. Rationale: when the CSSDAR bylaws were revised, there was no specific date when the term of office for district officers began. It is being changed to align with state officers to begin at the close of Congress when the new state regent and vice regent are installed. And amend Article 11, Districts, Section 6, renumbered to Section 7 by striking for a term of office of 2 years or until their successors are elected. Section 7 now reads, Section 7, Election. Officers shall be elected by the voting delegates at the annual meeting. Voting for officers shall be by ballot, or if a candidate is unopposed, by acclamation of viva voce, and a majority of delegates present and voting shall elect. If a particular office is not filled after 2 ballots, the next ballot shall be a runoff election between the 2 candidates for that office who received the highest number of votes on the second ballot. Rationale: removes wording that is now included in Section 4. These 2 amendments will be ratified at the next annual meeting by the membership. Something we all remember from an in-person conference. The pages will now open the doors.
Oh, put your, oh, no, they just.
They say, oh my God, I see the way you shine. Take your hand, my dear, and place them both in mine. You know you stopped me dead while I was passing by. And now I beg to see you dance just one more time. Ooh, I see you every time. And oh my, I like your style. You make me wanna try. And now I beg to see you dance just one more time. You'll be mine again, again.
It's still playing. Now that we've had a little movement and got the blood moving, we'll take. Now that we've had a little movement, we'll take a 15-minute break just to get up, refresh your coffee, and we'll come back with the reports of the state officers. The next order of business will be the reports of the state officers. The state regent will report first. Little did we know when we left the San Ramon Marriott at the close of the 112th State Conference that we would be holding all state events, culminating in this state conference virtually, still unable to meet almost 1 year to the day. Think about that, ladies. 1 entire year of not being able to gather. The joy of beginning a new administration with high hopes and dreams of what was to be instead could have become a steady stream of disappointments. I repeat the words, could have. When as new regents we choose the scriptures that will help to define our administrations, we choose those that speak to us and hopefully to you, our members. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord. From Colossians chapter 3, verse 23. And keep your eyes focused on what is right and look straight ahead to what is good. From Proverbs chapter 4, verse 25, were the scriptures this officer chose. And it is these words that have kept your regent focused on what we can do rather than what we cannot do. Your state board, district directors, regents, and you, daughters, also took those words to heart. In September, for the first time, fall councils were held in a virtual platform. 2 full days of leadership seminars were presented, providing leaders and members the skills needed to carry on the business of their chapters and districts. We celebrated daughters who had served during World War II with a tribute, held a virtual parade celebrating the end of the war, and watched a moving presentation by our state historian on women who had served at the time. Our teas, both Heritage and Victorian Christmas teas, were held virtually, and while we could not gather at our beloved headquarters in Glendora, we were able to share memories of past gatherings. We have all stretched technologically, becoming masters at Zoom. Now, Teams Live allows us to hold our annual conference. Did you know that we have Microsoft tech support for this entire meeting? Yes, it is different, but this format has allowed 20 visiting state regents to be with us, along with many prospective and associate members. Registration for conference on Wednesday night was approximately 890. We are making CSSDAR history, ladies. State officer reports will bring you up to speed on all that is coming. We are far from done. You have supported this state regent's projects wholeheartedly, raising funds for the Women's Alzheimer's Project and for Tomasi DAR School Bridge Scholarships for the Early Childhood Learning Center and after-school programs. To date, over $40,000 has been raised in support of these projects. You served and continued to serve on the front lines in all areas of medical care. You provided over 40,000 masks and continue to sew for active duty service personnel, veteran schools, and more. Daughters are reaching out to members who are homebound, keeping them involved, if even from a distance. You've held drive-by drop-offs for food banks, homeless and domestic violence shelters. Daughters remembered our veterans with cards, drive-by birthday parties, supplies, and by locating new cemeteries in which to lay wreaths on veterans' graves for Wreaths Across America. Boxes went to active duty military, and you raised supplies for fisher houses all over the state. You cleaned graves, waterways, and beaches. Teachers were supported through community classroom activities, and donations and scholarships were provided to needy students. This is only a smattering. Upcoming committee, district, and chapter reports will provide the fuller picture of your outstanding participation in the missions of our society. California Daughters are on their way to surpassing our record of over 1 million hours tallied at Service to America by the end of the Van Buren administration. So please keep logging your Service to America hours. CMR reports show that you are working above and beyond what could have been expected this last year. 100% participation in the CMR reporting was achieved. The point is this, daughters. For this state regent, you are living and breathing proof that the scriptures and theme of this administration, with full hearts, we can and we will rise and shine in service to God, home, and country, were absolutely embodied. Thank you, daughters, from my heart. You are simply the best. State officers are allowed 3 minutes to give their reports. Additional time has been approved for the state vice regent and the state treasurer. The audit report will be given by the state treasurer following her report. Each will be introduced. State Vice Regent Sharon Moss.
Thank you, Madam State Regent. As you know, these are challenging times, so we have had to make adjustments. The District Director Sleepover in July is traditionally hosted by this officer at state headquarters in Glendora. It is a chance to provide information and share ideas. However, this year, the District Directors made history by attending the first ever virtual sleepover. The agenda outlined 8 Zoom sessions over 2 days. Some sessions were conducted by this officer and some by other DAR members. A virtual tour of state headquarters was conducted, and a virtual visit to the Madonna of the Trail statue in nearby Upland was enjoyed. A great deal of information was presented and discussed. At that time, we were just beginning to learn Zoom and how to work together virtually. Look how much we've learned since then. For this conference, the district directors and the chapter regents were asked to give their oral reports on video and to provide a PowerPoint slide with photos. Many were pushing the limits of their technical skills, but they successfully accomplished the goal. This evening, we will begin to enjoy the fruits of their labor as we hear about the many accomplishments of our California chapters. Your work is much appreciated. The State Vice Regent is also responsible for site selection for our events. Unfortunately, we have not been able to hold any in-person events since our last conference in March of 2020 due to the pandemic. But the hotels that were scheduled to hold those events have allowed us to amend the contracts to book future events through June of 2022 with no loss of deposit or penalties incurred. Hopefully, Continental Congress this June will be held in Washington, D.C., and the California Congressional Tea at the Mayflower Hotel. Hopefully, it will be an in-person event, and what a celebration that would be. This officer is currently working with our dedicated Marriott representative to book hotels for future events to be held through June of 2024. I know we'll be together by then. Virtual State Headquarters Administration Committee meetings were attended by this officer, and Kathy Witt, the new chair of that committee, is doing an excellent job. The state handbook is currently under review, and the updated version should be available soon. The district directors have been doing a great job of keeping members involved by distributing information through email, newsletters, and virtual meetings. However, this officer truly hopes that we can soon meet in person again to carry on the work of our society. With full hearts, we can and we will rise and shine in service to God, home, and country. Thank you, Madam State Regent, for the opportunity to serve in your administration.
Thank you, Sharon. State Chaplain Christine McMahon will report.
State Chaplain Christine McMahon reporting. This officer has been in touch with many chapter regents, chaplains, and members over the past year, and you all are doing a marvelous job during these difficult times. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me for assistance. I have greatly appreciated all the invitations to attend chapter and district meetings and events. Thank you so much for inviting me. Members who are 90 years and older have received heartfelt birthday greetings from this officer. If you have a chapter member who is 90 years or older, be sure to submit the chapter reporting form for birthday wishes sent from this officer on behalf of the State Society. The form can be found on the member's website under the State Chaplain Documents and Forms. In case you were wondering, we have almost 300 members who are 90 years and older, and almost 50 members who are 100 years and older. We also celebrate on an annual basis our members who have 50 years or more of continuous membership in DAR. This year, we honor all of those members at State Conference in a recognition ceremony. The 50-year member form can be found on the member's website under the State Chaplain Documents and Forms. The form for next year is due to this officer no later than October 15, 2021, and be sure to include a photo of each member to be recognized. I hope you will join us this Sunday morning for our annual State Memorial Service to remember and honor all of the daughters who have left us this past year. The annual Book of Remembrance will be displayed during all in-person state events for the remainder of the year. Congratulations to all chapters who conducted a wreath-laying ceremony to honor a patriot. The State Society will hold a wreath-laying in June. Stay tuned for more information. I hope you enjoyed the virtual Heritage Tea this past year. I'm looking forward to a road trip north with my DAR buddies for the 2021 Heritage Tea. I hope you'll join me with a road trip of your own. Details of the event will be sent soon. Thank you, Madam State Regent. With a full heart, this officer is proud to serve the California State Society.
Thank you, Christine. State Recording Secretary Wendy Malone will now report.
Madam State Regent, the Office of State Recording Secretary is pleased to report its activities. This officer has carried out its primary responsibilities, transcribing the minutes of all the regular meetings of the Board of Directors, updating and maintaining the Board Actions Database list of approved motions, tracking and collecting conflict of interest forms, and gathering and organizing annual written reports for the 113th State Conference. Work on the 2020 annual proceedings is beginning. Each state officer, state chairman, district director, and chapter regent must submit a written report to this officer, which will be published in the 2020 California State Proceedings. Thank you one and all for well-written reports already submitted, which preserve the history of the California DAR. If you have not submitted one, your report is overdue. This officer has particularly enjoyed being a board liaison to state chairs for the Conservation Committee, Chapter Achievement Awards CMR Committee, Protocol Committee, and Bylaws Committee. Thank you for the many invitations to chapter and district events. One of the most enjoyable activities of being on the state board is attending these events. Although COVID-19 has made it difficult to attend these events in person, this officer has enjoyed seeing how the chapters and districts invent new ways of meeting and sharing events virtually. This officer looks forward to when we can all meet in person once again. Madam State Regent, it is an honor to serve you and the California State Society as State Recording Secretary.
Thank you, Wendy. State Corresponding Secretary Emily Bowling will now report.
Madam State Regent, this officer prepared the state yearbook and directory for the Broderick administration. The collection of photos and information was slowed by the pandemic, but our chapters and districts met the challenge. Instead of group photos, individual photos were submitted and extra help was enlisted in updating the e-membership database, which was also slow during the pandemic. The yearbook was printed by Modern Impression printers in Sacramento. Printed copies of the yearbook and directory were mailed to the CSSDAR Executive Board, honorary state regents, district directors, and chapter regents, as well as 94 prepaid, pre-ordered copies. Certificates received by mail from Continental Congress were mailed to chapter regents as well. Regular updates to the online yearbook and directory were made when changes and corrections are received. Announcements and communiques were sent as required. Questions on the use of certificates for state conference and obtaining CMR access pins were answered. Communication with liaison committees is always open and questions are always welcome. The bins are prepared for distribution of state conference certificates, and these will be mailed to chapter regents. This officer reminds each chapter to work diligently to keep information in the e-membership database as up to date as possible. When making changes, always click the Inform the State Corresponding Secretary to help ensure the most current information is available to me as well. Madam State Regent, it is a pleasure and an honor to serve our state society as part of your administration. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. State Organizing Secretary Dawn Bird-Berezovoy will now report.
Thank you, Madam State Regents. Greeting, California daughters. For the Broderick administration, this officer is serving as the liaison for the Chapter Development and Revitalization Commission, the Community Service Awards Committee, the DAR Leadership Development Committee, as well as the DAR Member Training Courses Committee. As State Organizing Secretary, this officer has had the pleasure of serving California daughters in 11 of our 15 districts, chapter meetings, district meetings, and many, many Zoom meetings. It is this officer's hope that in the very near future, we can be together in person. Thank you, California daughters, for your invitations to attend your events and meetings. As a member of the Chapter Development and Revitalization Commission, or the CDRC, this officer had the opportunity to share support in chapter leadership, succession planning, membership, and conflict resolution. It has been a pleasure to answer your phone calls and your emails and to provide guidance where needed. Chapters are proving that they can and are rising in service. During this most challenging of times, there are two common issues that chapters are facing all across our state. The first is understanding the roles and responsibilities of elected officers. It is critical that chapter members learn the responsibilities of each position and to be well versed in the roles and responsibilities of each chapter committee. All chapter officers should consider taking the members course and the New Horizons course to learn not just about DAR history, but to learn proven leadership techniques. The second and more prevalent issue that chapters are facing is conflict resolution. It is challenging to not be able to meet in person, and as a result, members are facing difficulties with constructive communication. Negative communication leads to poor attendance and poor membership gains. It is important that chapter boards work to resolve issues as soon as they arise. This officer created a webinar on conflict resolution that can be found on the CSSDAR website, and there is also a great New Horizon webinar that can be viewed by all members. Since the last state conference, the new Butterfield Trail chapter was organized in the Corona area in November 2020, and the Rio Casumas chapter was organized in the Elk Grove area in August of 2020. And that brings our total to 116 chapters in the state of California actively doing the great work of our society. We are also proud to announce that a new chapter has been approved in the Folsom area. Look at our state society grow. Madam State Regent, it is a true honor and a pleasure to serve, and I stand in awe of the many gifts that the Broderick administration has given to ensure the success and the future of our state society. Thank you.
Thank you, Dawn. At this time, State Treasurer Christina Ramos will bring her report, followed by Christina Ramos bringing the Audit Committee report.
Thank you, Madam State Regent. Good morning, daughters. Our state society and its ledger are in good order. Our federal and state taxes have been filed, and our current and our property taxes have been paid. The transition from school books to QuickBooks was completed in the previous administration, and this officer is now evaluating moving to a hosted QuickBooks system. 5 new laptops have been purchased, and this officer is setting them up later today so that they have cross functionality. This means an extra laptop in the exhibit room for faster checkout. Bring your checkbooks, ladies. As a member of the new National State Treasurer Facebook page, this officer has the opportunity to work with other state treasurers to learn how things are done in other states and exchange information. This officer will work with the Treasurer General in putting together meetings where state treasurers can collaborate and exchange ideas to expand on some of the more major discussion points that are brought forward on the Facebook page. This officer is working on a new chapter treasurer's manual and a state treasurer's manual to document the job and the concept of why and how we do things. Along with these manuals, all of the state treasurer forms are going through a full revision. Stay tuned on updates when this will be ready. I'm sure you're waiting anticipation. There was a push for chapters too, at the very least, to get set up for direct dues payments. This officer is pleased to report that out of our 116 chapters, 100 chapters have signed up for direct dues payments. If your chapter hasn't signed up for direct dues payments, I encourage you to please do so. This officer is also evaluating a way to implement direct dues payments to the state society. We had every chapter pay state and national dues on time. Thank you. Thank you all so much to all the chapter treasurers and anyone who has supported them in this endeavor. It's been a tough go at national with the delays with mail and Federal Express and the reduced staff. Please know that your Treasurer General has conveyed how appreciative she is. This officer would like our members to know how appreciative she is of our Treasurer General. She has been nothing short of a miracle. National is still working out some issues with dues, and if your chapter is still experiencing an issue, please be patient as we work through it. The date for drops was February 28th, but National has mentioned that they understand the issues with the mail are still continuing, and they won't drop members until this March 15th. So they want to give some time for the mail to arrive. This officer received word a few days ago from National that the President General's project donations have been updated for chapters and e-membership. I know a lot of chapters have been asking about that question. In the second year of the President General's project, donations in the amount of $19,900 were sent in, and the state has 14 chapters that have 100% participation already paid up for the President General's project. A total of $12,571 was sent in for the chapter achievement for national programs. All the chapters paid the magazine fees, and it was received by National on time. Your state treasurer is very excited to be able to offer training the next time that we are able to gather together to anyone willing to listen to her drone on about the job of the chapter treasurer and what it entails. She promises it will be very entertaining and she won't lock you in the room. Thank you to our chapter treasurers for all the hard work that you've put in. Believe me, I know the job isn't easy. This officer wants you to know that you aren't alone and that she's here for you. As in previous emails that you've received, you are welcome to call or text me anytime. Some of you have called and texted me anytime at 7 a.m. and at 11 p.m. This officer has received many text messages and has talked with many chapter treasurers. She is also available for virtual training. Madam State Regent, thank you for the opportunity to serve in your administration. Under your leadership, you've given us full hearts so that we can and we will rise and shine to service to God, home, and country. Thank you, Madam State Regent. The Audit Committee. The Audit Committee's function currently under the umbrella of the Finance and Budget Committee. Its responsibility is to arrange for the annual audit of the financial statements and make sure that the audits are completed in a timely manner. The Society has engaged the firms of Quigley and Myron, certified public accountants of Los Angeles, to perform its annual audits. As has been reported in prior years, the change of accounting software made it difficult to complete the audits on a timely basis. Audit procedures were underway but not completed to date for several of our unaudited fiscal years. For various reasons, including our nearly 1 year-long pandemic shutdown, the firm has not been able to complete the audits. As of April 1st, 2019, the State Society transitioned to QuickBooks software, and the committee has confidence that the financial statements will present fairly our financial condition, which the auditors can certify. Because it is important to move forward and get back on a timely audit schedule, we have approached the auditors about other reports that they might be able to issue as an independent third party who has looked at the books and records. We are waiting for a response. We are also aware of requirements by the Attorney General, the California Corporation Code, and our own bylaws and handbook in regard to the nonprofit's financial statements. Our exempt organization tax returns have been prepared timely by the auditing firm for these open, unaudited years. The information on the 990s can provide financial reporting that could satisfy our requirements. The committee is confident that the assets of the California Society are safeguarded and that no material errors have occurred, thanks to the integrity of the women who have served as state treasurer. Madam State Regent, it is an honor to serve in your administration as we can and we will rise and shine in service to God, home, and country. Thank you.
You took my paper.
Oh, I took your paper. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Thank you, Christina. State Registrar Robin Hurwitz will now report, excuse me.
The state officer appreciates questions posed by new and experienced registrars. It's been quite a learning experience. Thank you for invitations to virtually visit chapters and districts. Workshops for registrars and genealogy programs for all daughters proved popular, with Zoom sessions on Spanish patriots and resources for registrars and those who love them. Thank you, Brenda Kessler, Lisa Oakley, and Beth Ullman for your presentations and for your support on multiple e-apps. Recorded programs can be found on our state website. This officer is very excited about upcoming programs by internationally recognized genealogists Judy Russell, the legal genealogist, and Josh Taylor from Genealogy Roadshow. You can register for these programs on the state website web store. A heartfelt thank you is extended to all for your dedication to increasing membership during a challenging year. Your efforts resulted in 861 new members, and as of December 31st, 2020, CSSDAR celebrated 10,046 daughters. To the 113 chapters who turned in their state conference credentials forms on time, thank you. It's wonderful to have so many delegates participate in state conference. This officer appreciates chapter regents adding the election of delegates to chapter calendars. State conference is our annual business meeting, and it is vital that chapter members have and use our voices. In 2020, 6% of California applications received pre-letters, and 11.2% were returned with air letters. As we honor ancestors with our supplemental applications, please use the most recent application form. Take advantage of the new national program with volunteer genealogists reviewing supplemental applications via phone or computer. Have your chapter registrar review your paperwork before mailing. This officer is honored to serve as liaison to state society committees. The SAT program embraced the entire state and continues to evolve as 5 dedicated area coordinators and membership chair Pat Goldman work tirelessly with the SAT committee chair Donna Regal to provide options to prospective members on their path to DAR membership. Lineage Research Chairs Beth Ullman and June Epperly assisted multiple chapters with research and documentation to complete applications. Volunteer Genies Cheryl Colt and Christy Stringfield assigned volunteer genealogists to chapters requesting assistance with training, applications, and error letters. Linda McGinnis and Ann Edgecombe reminded us to discover and share historical records for DAR's Genealogical Records Committee. Patriot Records Committee Chair Laura Nygaard keeps an eye on projects to find and identify Revolutionary War patriots in historic collections. Virginia Rude, Member-at-Large Committee, supports women who cannot participate in chapter activities as they join and remain part of DAR by serving as members at large. Madam State Regent, it is an honor to serve in your administration.
Thank you, Robin. State Historian Sherry Stein will now report.
The first objective of our society is historic preservation, and that objective is the primary responsibility of the Office of the State Historian. The major areas of focus are promote the study of American history and historical research, encourage chapters to identify and mark historical sites, maintain records for marking graves of Revolutionary War patriots, soldiers, spouses, and real daughters, maintain records for DAR member grave markers. To achieve the following 6 chapters nominated teachers in their communities for the Outstanding Teacher of American History contest: Arancha, Mindy Montre; El Paso de Robles, Shannon Babcock; Jedediah Smith, Todd Anton; John Greenleaf Whittier, Scott Van Diest; Meets Conicon, Monica Lukens. The teachers and chapters were also highlighted in the 113th State Conference opening night ceremonies. Mrs. Jeannie Seiza of Palisades Charter High School in Palisades, California, nominated by the Santa Monica chapter, was honored as a state winner during opening night. Mrs. Seiza was presented with a certificate plaque, pin, award, check, and a gift. To further the objective to promote the study of American history and historical research, a program was created by this officer commemorating the women who were integral in the victories achieved during World War II. This officer prepared a tribute to fellow daughters who served. An application for the DAR History Award Medal for Alan Taylor was submitted to the Office of the National Historian. Dr. Taylor is a 2-time Pulitzer Prize Award winner and the current Thomas Jefferson Foundation Chair at the University of Virginia. National headquarters is only working at 25% capacity, and the application is currently pending. A replacement DAR History Award Medal was re-awarded on opening night to Martha Ann Francisca Vallejo McGettigan, as well as a certificate plaque and a book. Several chapters have worked through the arduous task to place DAR-approved historical markers in their communities. The following was recounted on the CMR. Captain John Oldham placed and dedicated a plaque honoring Ellen Clark Sargent for her dedication and work to the suffrage movement. The marker is in Nevada City, California. The Los Sueños chapter received approval from the National Historian General to place a historic marker on the 100-year-old Chapel of Memories in Temecula, California. Due to the pandemic, they have postponed the ceremony. The Rancho Buena Vista chapter received approval for a historic marker for the Rancho Buena Vista adobe. Installation has also been postponed. Certificates of award were presented to chapters for their accomplishments in historic preservation, education, and in honoring their patriots. 3 chapters submitted exceptional reports: Bakersfield, Don Jose de Ortega, and Panamint Springs. The America 250 Committee approached the state officer on fundraising to place a Patriots marker at state headquarters. Be sure to order your pen to be part of this great endeavor to honor our patriots. The State Society is also working on marking the grave of proven patriot Ignacio Vicente Vallejo, as well as the 75th anniversary rededication of a marker at Torrey Pines, California. DAR approved grave markers were placed to honor several daughters. Photographs, programs, news reports are being collected for the State Regent's Memory Book. All entries must include event date and identify people in the photograph. Madam State Regent, has been an honor to serve as state historian during the first year of your administration.
Thank you, Sherry. State Librarian Debbie Foley King will now report.
Madam State Regent, this state librarian thanks you, California Daughters, for your ongoing and strong support of our state and national DAR libraries. This year, 63 chapters reported library activity on their chapter mastery report. 40 programs were given on the DAR library. 38 books were donated to the library in Washington, D.C. by 12 chapters. A total of $1,975 was donated to the Friends of the Library and $527 donated to Friends of STEMS. 14 chapters donated 34 books to the CSS DAR collection in the Heritage Center at the Central Branch of the Fresno Library. Another 134 books were donated to the CSS DAR collection by the Fresno Yosemite chapter. Thank you. This year, chapters became even more engaged as they supported local libraries and schools and enhanced their own lending libraries for members. 8 chapters are holding regular book clubs. This state officer is so thankful for the huge success of the new CSS DAR Library Book Club. Book club meetings are being held every 2 months to discuss historical fiction that capture both historical events and the personal sacrifice and lives that were impacted by our nation's history. Members choose to attend either morning or evening sessions to discuss that month's book, and even meet in virtual breakout rooms to talk about the book with DAR members from across California. 278 members have attended at least one of the 4 meetings held to date, and we have many more to come. Over the course of 2021, I am challenging each chapter across California to donate 1 book to the CSS DAR collection in the Heritage Center of the Fresno County Public Library. Chapters don't need to stop at just 1 book, though. Certificates of appreciation and award will be presented to each chapter that participates in this 2021 challenge. Please make sure to review the wish list for the library on the CSS DAR members website. Lastly, thank you for the many invitations to visit your chapter and district meetings. This state librarian so enjoys getting to meet with daughters from all around the state to discuss our national and state libraries and all the resources available to you. With full hearts, we can and we will rise and shine in service to God, home, and country as we support and continue to read, learn, and build our state and national library collections and resources. Thank you, Madam State Regent. It's been an honor to serve.
Thank you, Debbie. State Parliamentarian Katrina Gonzalez will now report.
Phew, what a year it has been. This officer would like to commend each and every chapter who has navigated the changing environment that 2020 brought to DAR activities. It has been a challenge and an effort of devoted service that so many chapters have overcome switching to a virtual environment and still found ways to dedicate time to the work of our society. Over the past year, countless bylaws have been reviewed by this officer for chapters and clubs specifically to add electronic meeting provisions and plan for the future. This officer would like to remind chapters that while the current conditions do provide some leeway for emergency actions, an appropriate and transparent process should still be taken to amend bylaws. This officer was pleased to be able to present an overview of parliamentary procedure for all members during the fall virtual council meetings. Please feel free to continue to bring questions or concerns about procedures to this officer, and together we can and we will continue moving forward in our service to God, home, and country. Thank you, Madam State Regent, for this opportunity to serve during your administration.
Thank you, Katrina. This concludes the reports of the state officers. Ladies, thank you for your dedication to our society and its members. And thank you from the bottom of my heart for your spirit. You inspire me on a daily basis and truly exemplify our "we can and we will" motto. The chair recognizes State Conference Chair Kathy Russo, who will introduce the conference committee.
Thank you, Madam State Regent. The State Conference Committee has done an outstanding job in making the transition from an in-person conference to a virtual one. Although the entire committee is listed in the program, I would like to share some of their photos with you. I would like to thank the wonderful State Conference Committee for all of their hard work and being so flexible in these changing times. I would also like to give special thanks to Jo Olson and her exceptional VIS team who supported myself and this committee to help us make this conference a success. Thank you, Madam State Regent. It's been an honor to serve.
Madam Chair and Conference Committee, please accept our gratitude and appreciation for all your work on this conference. Serving as personal pages to the State Regent this administration are Lisa Rose and Nicole Bradshaw. This Regent is extremely grateful for your help behind the scenes as we've navigated this very different year. We are all missing our young women in white this conference. California Daughters serving as pages give much to our society. This Regent would like to express thanks to these women and a hope that we will see them live at fall councils. I would just like to add one more thank you. This morning, well, I should say last evening, I was invited by one of our members here at headquarters to take a look outside, that there was something outside that I needed to see. This officer went out to the front porch, and the front lawn of our headquarters was covered with blue hearts. I had been given a heart attack. I would just like to give a shout out to Stacy Prather and the juniors, and thank the juniors and pages, and thank them for that heart attack. I am eternally grateful. Thank you. Madam Corresponding Secretary, do you have any announcements? I do.
Madam State Regent, we have an announcement from the California Past and Present Junior and Pages Club. There is an online auction with 13 baskets. This auction provides financial support to the junior members and page-age women of the California State Society to get them to state conference. When at CSS DAR state conferences, educational support and training is provided to encourage leadership and maintain the involvement of members exiting out of paging. If you have questions, please contact Nicole Bradshaw. From Junior Shop, check out the CSS DAR Junior Shop presentation during the DAR Schools and Junior presentation on Friday afternoon at noon. Learn more about Junior Shop and the Helen Pouch Memorial Fund. Madam State Regent, with your indulgence, a virtual lost and found. Has somebody lost their sense of humor? We all know it's not Honorary State Regent Debbie Jameson. It would appear that somebody's funny bone is in our lost and found. Please don't wait until we're together again to reclaim your joy and sense of humor. Remember, DAR is the fun stuff. P's and Q's and social media. Sometimes well-meaning observations can spark a firestorm of controversy and hurt feelings. Remember to reach out personally with questions or concerns and to mind your P's and Q's on social media. Madam State Regent.
Thank you, Emily. The DAR Schools Junior membership event begins at noon. We hope you'll join us for that event. This meeting is recessed and will reconvene in this room in our living room at headquarters at 1:45 p.m. We will begin with visiting State Regent greetings and proceed to committee reports.
DAR insignia, you are so blingy bright. We love you on our left side and we love you on our right. We show the pride we have for our beloved DAR, and every member knows on sight just who and what we are. The protocol will follow, for respect we all must show. To find out more about this, to our website we will go. These pins mean so much more to me than I could ever say. They stand for service, sacrifice, donations that we pay. Let's buy some pins and fill our lovely ribbons white and blue. I love my pins and ribbons, and I'm sure that you do too. We're here to help you buy your pins, avoiding any tears. For DAR insignia, we are your volunteers.
Did you see the announcement from our state insignia chairs? Rachel and Janice shared that shipping costs are being waived on all orders from the DAR insignia store during our state conference.
Yes, but that's not all. Shipping on orders from the DAR store are being waived too, as long as at least one President General's project item is included in the order.
There's a special California code or a coupon to use that's only good during the week of our state conference, so look for directions on our state website homepage.
We've already made our list. Have you?